Elon Musk looked out over the city of Palo Alto from his office window at the top of Tesla's headquarters. He had achieved everything he ever wanted: money, power, innovation. But lately, something was bothering him. He felt that despite his revolutionary vision, his employees were becoming complacent. Were they still committed to the ideals that had brought them here? Or were they just working for a paycheck? It was then that an unusual idea came to him. He would disguise himself as a homeless man and test his own employees. He would find out who was truly worthy of his trust and who was just acting out. That night, Elon stripped off his expensive suits and donned ragged clothes. He smeared soot on his face and donned a disheveled wig. He walked with a stoop, practiced a raspy voice and a lost look in his eyes. For all intents and purposes, he was no longer the eccentric billionaire. He was just another homeless man wandering the streets. Over the next few days, he stood at the entrances of Tesla and Twitter, observing his employees. He asked for money, he asked for food, he asked for a simple look of compassion. And what he found surprised him. Some looked away, pretending he didn't exist. Others laughed, making jokes about the company's new investor. But some stood out. An engineer stopped and offered him a hot coffee. A receptionist shared a sandwich with him. An intern even tried to help him find shelter. But the real turning point came when one of the top executives, someone Elon trusted deeply, kicked him off the Tesla sidewalk, called security, and demanded that this human garbage be removed. After a week in the disguise, Elon returned to his office. He called a meeting of all employees. On the big screen, he began to play the hidden camera footage. Silence fell over the room as the footage showed the undercover CEO being ignored, mocked, and mistreated. The atmosphere grew even more tense when the scene of the executive ordering his ouster appeared. "That homeless guy you ignored, it was me." The shock on everyone's faces was evident. Some tried to justify themselves, but Elon held up his hand, silencing them. He didn't fire anyone immediately. Instead, he implemented a new policy at Tesla and Twitter. Every employee, regardless of their position, would have to spend 1 week a year volunteering with the homeless and the underprivileged. The executive who kicked him off the sidewalk, he had two choices: resign from his position or spend 3 months leading social projects as part of his moral rehabilitation. The story leaked to the media and became a global phenomenon. Comments flooded social media, dividing opinions. Some thought Elon's action was genius, others cruel. But one thing was undeniable: he had proven his point. In the end, the biggest lesson was not about business, but about empathy. For, as Musk put it at the end of the meeting, a person's true value is not in their bank account, but in how they treat those who can give them nothing. Months later, Elon visited the engineer who had offered him coffee. "Promoted," he said with a smile. "We need more people like you." And so, the billionaire who dreamed of Mars proved that before conquering other planets, it was necessary to improve the world we live in. Months passed, and the new policy implemented by Elon Musk began to transform the culture within Tesla and Twitter. Employees who had previously limited themselves to the world of technology were now spending time on the streets, helping the less fortunate. Internal reports showed that empathy within the company had increased, and even productivity had increased. More aware and motivated workers produced more and better. But not everyone was happy. A group of executives, including some shareholders, saw the changes as a distraction from business. For them, Elon had lost his focus. "Our mission is to innovate, not to be an NGO," one of the directors wrote in an email leaked to the press. The board began to discuss behind the scenes whether Musk should be removed. Aware of the move, Elon decided to test his team once again, but this time in an even more radical way. He publicly announced that he intended to donate 95% of his fortune to projects to combat poverty and social development, keeping only what was necessary to continue leading his companies. The announcement sent shockwaves through the industry and the stock markets. Tesla's shares temporarily plummeted, and the world's media went into a frenzy. But Musk had a plan. Before his critics could act, he called a meeting of key investors and executives. With an enigmatic smile, he issued a challenge. "You think I'm wasting my time and money? Very well, let's do an experiment. For 6 months, Tesla and Twitter will pursue 2 different strategies. Half of the company will continue to operate as before, obsessed with profits. The other half will adopt a leadership model based on social impact and responsible innovation. At the end of the period, we'll see which approach works best." The board was speechless. Elon knew how to play. If he was wrong, the numbers themselves would bring him down. But if he was right, they accepted the challenge. Over the next few months, the world watched as Tesla and Twitter split. On one side, traditional executives tried to maximize profits and cut costs. On the other, the team led by Musk invested in social improvements, humanitarian innovation, and employee quality of life. The numbers were clear. Musk's team not only outperformed the other half in innovation and talent retention, but also attracted a new type of investor, one who believed that the future of business lay in aligning profit with purpose. In the end, Elon won. His model became the company's standard. The executives who tried to boycott him were replaced, and true to his word, he gave away most of his fortune, proving that it was possible to change the world without giving up success. But there was one last surprise. In the dead of night, Musk donned his homeless disguise again and returned to the Tesla lobby. Now the looks on his face were different. Employees stopped, offered help, listened. He smiled, satisfied. The exotic billionaire who wanted to conquer Mars realized that his mission was even greater: to change the way the world did business. And that, he knew, was the greatest revolution he had ever created. And that was another one of those unusual stories about celebrities. If you liked the video, subscribe to the channel and activate the bell so you don't miss any videos. Leave your opinion in the comments. Like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Join our channel group. I'll leave the link in the description and in the pinned comment. I'll leave it here, and see you next time.